Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 139 of the Ringside Rundown podcast. My name is Erik Vasquez, and joining me on the line is my podcasting partner in crime. Yes, that rhymes. She is straight from the Berg. She is Shay Hickson. Shay, what's going on, my friend?
What is going on? It's always weird when we do these not on a Tuesday night because it completely threw my whole week off. Like literally yesterday, my friends and I at work were like, "Yeah, today's Wednesday, right?" And then we're like, "Oh no, it's only Tuesday." Like, what is going on with time right now? But it doesn't matter. We're here. We're gonna have a good episode, like we always do. And
Yeah,
yeah, can't really
yeah.
complain.
It's going to be good times as always. This is going to be our final episode of the year 2024. Again, we started back in June of 2021, and it's kind of true what they say. Like, if you grind and grind and grind as we've been doing, it's going to take a while, but you're going to start to see the fruits of the labor. And so, obviously, we got to thank everyone that listens to the
Yes.
podcast and tunes into the content. We thank you very much. So we're excited to bring you another great episode. If you're new here, basically the way we do things, whenever there's not a pay-per-view or a PLE to do predictions or recap for, we open the door to allow you guys to dictate what we talk about on the show. And the way we do that is to allow you guys to send us in questions about anything you want to talk about, as long as it's wrestling related. And that's how we have fun here. That's how we script and format the show. Basically, it's your show. So if you're brand new here, kick back. Hopefully, you have a snack and your headphones are charged and you're ready for another exciting episode.
Yeah. You ready? Because I'm ready.
I'm ready. Let's do it. The last one of 2024.
All right, we're gonna start off with mom's questions and starting off hot. If we could
Uh-oh.
trade two men and two women, obviously from WWE and AEW to the opposite promotion, who would it be? And on top of that, who would their first opponents be and why?
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
she's starting off hot.
yeah, that's a loaded question.
Um.
Um
Oh, I got one woman already, and it's very easy, and it's not that difficult to figure out why. I would trade Stat to
uh
WWE because
okay.
of one singular match and one singular match only. Stat versus Rhea, and that's it.
Stat
That's
versus Rio would be fun. I feel like Stat would go crazy in NXT.
oh yeah, she would. Her and Stephanie, her and Julia, Roxanne,
Yeah,
like oh
yeah.
my god,
I
so
feel like
Ruka, like damn.
yeah, I feel like Stat would go crazy in NXT with the NXT has the best women's division in all of wrestling.
Oh right now,
So
yeah.
like yeah,
Oh yeah.
like they're just cooking. Like, so
Hmm.
Stat would go crazy. But yeah, what's you got two men and two women, so you got Stat on one side.
Ugh, this is tough. It's almost like when it comes to trading somebody from WWE over to AEW, and I feel like vice versa, it's almost like you kind of have to think of people where it's like, okay, well, they don't have the like over the top personality, like character vibe, but they have
Right.
like they're solid in the ring, which could be a lot of
Right.
people. And I don't want to say Shayna right off the bat because again, that's just like very easy for me, so I'm not.
Right.
Hmm.
Damn, it's tough.
I know because you could put so many people. Hmm.
I feel like what you said is like it's easier to take people from AEW and
Yes.
put them in WWE right now, because right now they would be in good hands.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sake, look what they're doing with Ethan Page.
Yeah, which we'll get
Man,
to that because that was
yeah,
whoo that was
that was, I mean, not
ugh.
only just that, but the idea that, I mean, I've always thought Ethan Page was great. So
Yeah,
when
me
he
too.
got when he got to NX, when he got to AEW, I was like, "Oh, this is fantastic. He'll be on TV. He'll be able to show what he can do."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then obviously it didn't work out that way. He goes to NXT, and instantly it's just like they unlocked something in him
Yeah.
that no other place was able to unlock. Maybe
Hmm.
they really didn't unlock it. Maybe they just knew how to utilize it.
They just
Um,
opened the door and said, "Okay, here you go,
right,
have fun." Like,
right. It was always there, just
mhm,
nobody else knew how to use it. But again, we're
yeah.
getting sidetracked from the question. We'll talk
Um,
about Ethan Page later.
um, I actually just thought of 2 off the top of my head, but I feel like I actually think they're now that I think about it, they're both for the same reason. They would just go in opposite directions. I would trade, and I don't want anyone barbecuing me, but that's just like just for my own selfish benefit. I'd
Uh-oh.
I'd like to see Stephanie in AEW to see what we would have had if she would have stayed.
Stephanie Vaquer.
Yes,
Oh,
because that would have been kind of fun to see her,
interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
thrown around with the women in AEW, and then I think for the same reason, I would trade Mariah May to WWE just to see what she would do, especially in
Ooh.
NXT. Could you fucking imagine,
Yeah,
like her and Sol
yeah.
Ruka, like her and Jada Parker, like that would
Not only
be.
that, but
Oh,
you can use Mariah May to turn Chelsea Green into a face. And
yes,
the
absolutely.
reason I say this is because Mariah May and Chelsea Green, in terms of characters, would have fit beautifully
Oh yes,
in
oh
the in
yes,
the in the divas era of WWE. So in that sense, they have chemistry,
yeah,
and I feel like um like Mariah May is such a great villain that
yeah.
she can make a hero out of anybody. You know,
Hmm.
I just think I just think that that's a those are great, fantastic choices. Statlander for her wrestling ability and what she brings to the table, and the fact that if you put her in NXT instantly has the beefiest roster
Yeah,
in all of wrestling, men or women. I mean, you put Stat in there, you put Zarya, and then Jordan
yeah.
Grace is
Oh,
going
oh,
in there. It's just like
chaos.
beef. It's just like beautiful women with muscles and strength all over the place. It's great. And then like but again the flip side is like who from WWE do you send to AEW? Because that's the question.
Men's side, I would like to see what Karrion Cross would do on the AEW side,
Ooh, okay.
because I think people are just now, after God knows how long, because I mean, we've talked about it for years, people are now catching on to how good he actually is and how
Right,
it doesn't have to always be that very loud, bombastic kind of like storyline where it has to make immediate waves. If you
right.
go back and look at most of his stuff, everything he touches turns to darkness. We've talked about it before, but it's like it's really, really showing now.
Yeah, the lore is very deep.
Yeah, and it's one of those where it's like I think that's probably why I've always liked him, where it's like it's not surface level stuff with him. I think that's also
Right,
kind of like we like Malachi too, where it's just like you have to look deeper than just what you see in front of you.
right,
And if you're willing to like look into it and delve deep into the lore, you will get rewarded. So I
right.
would like to see if they could do that in AEW, whether that would happen or not, who knows. Um who else? Um
Karen Cross is a good one though.
and that's tough because now that's what I ran out of ideas now. Um and obviously we will be talking about him a little bit later as well, but I would like to see Javon Evans in AEW.
Ooh,
Because you know what would happen. Like you know what would happen. I don't even need to explain that one. That one's pretty easy. Like
I
the
mean you.
chaos
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like, I mean, once you put him in the ring with Osprey,
over.
like it's like, and then you put him in there with Pac, and then we
Mhm.
never did we ever get to see Ricochet and Javon Evans? Did we or didn't we? I don't know.
I don't I don't think we did.
Damn, man,
I don't think we did. Well, all right,
that could have
nothing.
been a nice little one on the way out for Ricochet before he went to AEW.
Yeah, I don't think we saw
But
him there.
yeah, and but the thing is, like, again, this feels like a shot at AEW, but it's like, damn, like if NXT somehow lost out on Javon Evans and he went to AEW, it
Yeah.
would be like, damn, like how do you fumble that one, And again,
Literally.
it sounds like a shot to AEW. It's just like no matter what, I don't think AEW, like even in the sense that they're a what, 5.5, 6 year old company, they
Yeah.
wouldn't have the capacity to like have the wherewithal
Mm-mm.
to they're not built like that yet. That
No.
all that stuff takes time and constant failure of like, okay, we'll put our trust into this person to be a star and then it just flops.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like that happened constantly in WWE and it's gonna happen again. And it's like, but it almost feels like it's under more scrutiny if it happens in AEW, but people don't
Mhm.
take into account that AEW is still a young company.
Yeah, I mean, you just hope they grow out of that because we always say inevitably there is going to come a time where you can't use that excuse anymore
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
oh, well, they're a young company. They still don't really, I'm not going to say not know what they're doing, but they're still like inexperienced. It's like, okay, well, then once you start getting to 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and if this shit still happens, then we'll have a whole other conversation around that
Yeah.
time if we're
Mm,
we're still
yeah.
doing this by then, which we probably will be, let's be honest. But um
Stat,
WWE or go.
Staten Mariah to WWE and then Javon and Carrion to AEW. I think that's interesting, especially the Carrion aspect because
Yeah.
you already have the House of Black,
Hmm.
so it's like how does that dynamic work? Two spooky groups doing the same spooky shit on
Yeah.
the same
Pretty much.
show. That'll be a little interesting,
It would be
but
interesting to see Brody in WWE though, just to see what would happen. Like that would be a
oh,
bonus one.
you stole my
Okay, sorry, I didn't say it. Go ahead. So what was your first pick? What was your first pick?
uh from AEW to WWE. I mean, it's easy to go House of Black, but we've seen the majority of House of Black. So can I take this as a twofer? Because this is a tough
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. We
I
can.
was gonna say Brody, but what about Brody and Julia? You
Oh,
know,
oh God. That oh
Brody and Julia, because eventually, I mean, again, golly, this question sets me up to sound like a dickhead towards AEW.
you can
But
you can tell them I'm later, but
yeah,
good luck.
but like I don't want to. But eventually it just feels like once Malachi's contract situation finishes up with AEW, I I I don't know the guy, so I'm just talking as a fan. So nobody take this as oh like he's being a mark, like he thinks he knows what he's talking about. No, I don't have any scoops or anything like that. But it just feels like when Malachi's contract is up with AEW, I think he might be leaning more toward going back to WWE. And I mean, Buddy Matthews, I love Buddy Matthews, but there and I say this because like honestly, there's so much more he could do in WWE than AEW. Could you
Yeah.
imagine
Oh, oh.
like like the current consensus with this whole Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan,
Hmm.
Dominic situation is
Eh,
it's run its course.
yeah.
We're starting to beat a dead horse, which I totally understand. And
Mhm.
I feel like that argument has some merit to it. However, you remember a couple months ago when we were doing that sort of prediction thing and we were talking about what if House of Black showed up on WWE to
Yeah.
aid the Terror Twins against a Judgment Day, whatever. Still, I have that image in my head
Mhm.
that maybe Dominic grows some balls finally, and he's tired of the insults from Rhea Ripley, and he's tired of being called a chicken tender slut. So
That was
he
good though. We got you gotta give her that though.
so like he finally has the balls to stand up to mommy, to Rhea. When he
Mhm.
goes to do something, the lights go out, and when they come back on, Rhea's no longer in front of Dirty Dom. Oh no, 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 no. It's her
Mm-mm.
real man, her real husband.
Yeah.
It's Buddy Murphy's back,
Yeah.
with
And
his
he's in trouble.
gigantic arms, which is like two
I
of
wish.
Dirty Doms together. I feel like that visual in itself is a money maker, and it completely dispels the idea that this storyline is run its course. Because honestly, how do you, if you had the opportunity to do that, how do you not take that opportunity as a storyteller? you
Yeah,
know as
exactly.
a
Oh.
as a creative entity, you have to do that. You cannot leave that sitting on the table and going, well, we did all we did with the Rhea Dom situation. This would be just adding too much. No, this is a necessary add-on.
Yeah, that'd be
and
crazy.
Yeah, so I say that because I feel like Malachi is gonna go back, and the best idea is whenever Buddy can get back there
Yeah.
as soon as possible because the I mean, he's gonna kill it even if, like, let's say Malachi Brody leave because their contract situations are different and that leaves Buddy there. He could still kill it because he's a beast.
Oh
Like
yeah.
he's just like athletically as a wrestler with a look, with an attitude, the way he talks, the way he just fits in with the House of Black. Like he's a Swiss Army knife. Like he's a five-tool player when it comes to this wrestling stuff. So whether he stays in AEW, goes to back to WWE, doesn't matter. He's gonna kill it. But I just feel like in terms of this question, House of Black as a whole, but we already know that that's a possibility. So to
Yeah.
see Brody and Julia in WWE would be really cool. Now, as far as WWE to AEW,
Yeah. Tough.
it's tough because again, I mean, I hate to sound like a homer, but WWE's cooking.
Yeah.
WWE's cooking. Um,
Yeah.
um, man.
I know. Like I
I'm
said, starting off hot for for just because, I guess.
yeah. I'm trying to think of like from the women aspect.
Yeah.
From the women aspect, maybe Natalia because Natalia would be an instant boost
Yeah.
to the credibility and like and like she could really get these ladies right. You know, there's
Yeah.
a reason why you see all these training videos from the new Heart Dungeon with her and Tyson Kidd, you know, training everybody from whether it's AEW, WW, or 13-year-olds like Brody Lee's son, you know, like they're
Yeah.
training everybody to be absolute monsters. So you take Natty and you put her in an AEW setting, all of those ladies will be in tip top shape. Um,
It's a good pick. Solid.
yeah, yeah. And another lady, maybe Shotzi in
Ooh. Yeah.
AEW. Shotzi in AEW would be kind of crazy.
It's a sneaky good
Um,
one.
yeah, I've always had a soft spot for Shotzi because I feel like
Yeah.
she's one of those people that you look at and you go, she really like works her ass off. Like so
Yeah.
everybody else does. This is no slight to anybody else, but like you could just tell like this is what Shotzi wants to do. So you're like gun ho about her. So
Yeah.
like I think Shotzi would do well in that environment because Tony Khan would just be like, go do whatever you want to do, go crazy, be Shotzi, you know. So I think
Yeah.
she would be a good fit there. So Natty and Shotzi from WWE to AEW, Brody and Julia from AEW to WWE.
Solid choices. See?
Yeah, great thinker of a question there.
Yeah, right off the beginning, right off the bat
Right.
too. Like, gotta get the brain going early, I guess.
Really. Thankfully, I had one of my caffeinated drinks, so I'm my brain is in overdrive right now.
All right. So that's why we're gonna go into maximum overdrive right now. All right. So, uh, so we wanted to talk about this earlier, and we did bring it up a few times. Damn ego, what a beatdown on Javon Evans to,
Oof.
yeah, that was ew. It was very ew.
It was.
Just
I think of the logistics of it. Like, how did they pull that off?
yeah, like you think of that, I just thought of that's a lot of blood right off the bat. I'm
It,
like,
and
ugh.
and then they showed like they did like a backstage like TikTok thing,
Yeah.
and they were like somebody was like his teeth,
Yeah, yeah, his
like
teeth. It's like, ugh, I
oh.
can't, it's making, ugh, it's giving me the like, ugh.
Again though, Ethan Page, man.
It's ego. What can we say? Like, again, this is what we could have had in AEW, but no.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily that we could have just had it in AEW. It's just like they're not equipped yet. They haven't put in the time to like this is how we develop our stars and this is our
Yeah,
point proven plan, foolproof on how to develop a star in professional wrestling. Like
yeah,
WWE does it with their eyes closed. It's a machine.
yeah. They're
They
used to it.
have they have board members and groups and departments that literally study algorithms and logistics and audience retention, and that's how they know what's cooking and what's not cooking. It's not the sickos for WWE are the data miners that they like
Yeah.
figure out this is what's making money for the company. Those are their sickos. While Tony Khan sickos are like the wrestling fans, the hardcore wrestling fans that are in on Twitter and on the message board. Yeah, that's all fun. It's great. I love AEW. But
But
like it's two opposite ends of the wrestling spectrum, as we always say.
yeah, as much as you hate to say it, it's the truth. But yeah, ego, my God. Well, he got a smile back at least, so there's that.
That was so like, and if you think about it, this has been building. I just started Deadline, right? Because I've been
Yes.
behind on
Yep.
NXT, so I just
Mhm.
started Deadline,
Great show.
and it was a great. I watched the opening match and the part where Ego didn't want to get into the penalty box, and
Yes.
then Javon just blindsides him and makes him get in the penalty box,
Mhm.
and then he fucking crotch chops him just to piss him off even more. And then the following week, where like he's like, "I lost my smile."
Yeah.
Like I don't have a smile. And then Javon Evans is just like so stoked about just life. And then you have this, the
Yeah.
ending that happened where Javon
Yes.
Evans is gonna have to go get
A new
some
smile.
yeah, he's the one that's he's the one that literally lost his smile. So like
Yeah.
again, it's you think of it as like, oh, WWE unlocked something in Ethan Page, but it's like not it's oh, it was always there. Just like for some reason they didn't see it. They
Yeah, they never
didn't
just
see,
gave him the opportunity.
yeah, like they didn't. And then WWE was just like, oh, this is what you bring to the table.
Yeah, come on
Perfect.
over.
Yeah, not only that, but it was just like, all right, perfect. We can actually use this. And why the hell not? Let's just throw the belt on him really quickly.
Yeah.
Just for shits and gigs. Let's just throw the belt on him. And now he's like like the whole willingness to just be like, oh, you want a bunch of dudes to just pin me in 3 seconds and have me absolutely lose my shit because that's what I'm good at.
Yeah.
Like, like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll do that. And it's making money. Again, it's all about what makes money.
It's the money. We need the money.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just it's good to see him finally getting these opportunities because
Yeah.
like we said earlier, we've liked him from the beginning and we thought we were going to get that in AEW, or we thought that that would be a possibility, and we did see some glimmer of hope,
Towards the end,
like the
towards the
promo
end.
against MJF and that match against MJF, that was good,
Mhm.
and it's just like, oh, thank God, finally we might be seeing it finally,
Yeah,
and then we didn't, but oh well. I'm just glad he's getting it now because he definitely deserves it.
for sure, for sure.
So mom is so glad that Tony Storm is finally all elite after all this time. I
That-
love the fact that they pretty much just acted as if this last year or so was just a fever dream for her. Like, this is fucking hilarious because I saw that. There was a tweet that someone pretty much said that where they're like, I hope that they do this thing where it's like, she just pretends like Timeless Tony Storm was just like a fever dream and like that never happened. And then they
she's
literally
got
did it.
yeah, she's got amnesia.
Yeah, it's like it's 2021 all over again.
Yeah,
Like,
she's got amnesia. Like
this
she
is
does.
great.
And like I thought about it, and it's like the timeless Tony Storm character was so good,
Yeah,
right? So at first I'm like, all right, okay, but man, I'm gonna miss timeless Tony Storm. But then again, it's like it's genius. Like
yeah,
she didn't give you everything that timeless Tony Storm could give you.
yeah.
So she just took it away,
Hmm.
and maybe she'll bring it back, or maybe not.
There's some
You
glimmer of
don't know.
hope. We see it
There's
sometimes.
you may see it where she may bring it back, and when she does, everybody's gonna go crazy for it. But
Yeah,
maybe she does. That's the hook. So again,
yeah.
I gotta assume RJ City.
Oh, I hope so. I mean,
I
I wouldn't
gotta
be surprised.
I gotta assume Jason. This man is a goddamn genius. Like, this man, like,
He just
ah,
keeps cooking, just let him cook.
and you know, it's a thing with us. We love to do the fantasy booking thing here on the podcast.
Yes.
So, like, from one fantasy booker to an actual booker who's just absolutely beast at it.
Mhm.
It's a joy to watch, and it's one of the best parts of AEW. She's got amnesia. It's
Yeah.
like,
Or just a fever dream or something. I don't know.
yeah,
She might be under the
or it's
influence
a
of
fear,
something, who knows?
or it's a, oh my dear, fever dream sort of thing. Like, you know,
Yeah,
like it's
maybe.
like, like it's just
She could be faking it, you never know.
oh, like, could
Could
you
be faking
imagine
it.
when what if what if she pretends to has she acknowledged Mariah May in any of these return to OG Tony
No,
Storm promos?
not at all.
She
Oh,
hasn't.
no.
Okay, so could
Oh.
you imagine if her first interaction back with Mariah May, she completely forgets everything about it, and she's just like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
like, who are you? Like,
you're the champion. Nice to meet you. You look fantastic." Like,
Mariah would not know what to do. She would be so
like
thrown off. Like,
yeah, it would oh, it's genius, it's genius.
uh,
The fact that the timeless Tony Storm thing was cooking and they were
yeah.
just like, "Ah, we'll go back," like,
Yeah.
it's
Takes some
bananas.
nerve, but it works.
It's yeah, exactly. That's a good way to look at it. It takes some steel cojones to just take
Yep.
your best storyline of 2024 and just say, "We'll put a pin in it and we'll pivot and do something like this."
Yeah. Well, because like you said, there's the hook where it's like, is she faking it? Does she actually not consider anything that happened in the last year or so like real? Is she just like, again, is she just fooling everybody? Is she just trying to like get back at Mariah somehow, like gaslight her a little bit?
Right.
So it's good, it's smart because they could have easily just went the easy route of, oh, timeless Tony Storm's back, and we're like, okay, that's great, but then a few months from now, we'd probably be like, okay, well, I mean, it's nothing we haven't seen before, so it's like whatever. It's just like keep us guessing. This is what they need to do more. They need to keep us guessing more and keep us like
Exactly.
asking questions. And is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? And it's just like,
That's what again, I'm saying it till
just
I'm
let it
blue in the
go. Just
face.
let it go. Just let it go. Just
The
keep going.
the other side,
Yeah.
that's what they do best,
Yeah.
is like, you're like, is my interpretation of this, is everybody seeing what I'm seeing here? You
Yeah.
know,
Exactly.
are they going this way? Are they going that way? What are we doing here? It allows the audience to feel as if they dictate and are a part of the show.
Exactly.
Because they feel like it's like one of those mystery books you read as a kid that tells you, turn to this page if you think this is gonna happen,
Yeah.
turn to this page if you think this is gonna happen. It's one of those things, and it's like, again, WWE probably has a department where they monitor the conversation and they look at everybody's fantasy booking and piecing the puzzle and say, okay, we'll pivot this way. That's why you guys, like, all your bitching and complaining and moaning, if you sift through all of that, you find the good, like, fantasy bookers,
Yeah.
and you realize, like, they're watching. All the big content creators tell people this all the time. If you don't think that they're watching
They're
and
watching.
seeing what you say and what
Mhm.
you do and your ideas and your lack thereof ideas,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're on it, especially Triple H. Triple H is locked into this internet shit.
He's on the phone all the time.
He's on it. He is on it. Whether it's him, whether he's got a burner, whether
Yeah,
he's got an
burner account.
yeah, whether he's got an assistant tweeting for him, he's locked in the sense of, we have to utilize the social media as a gauge, as a metric, to see if this stuff is working. And
Exactly.
and AEW, to an extent, they do that, but Tony Khan is so dead set on placating to the hardcore wrestling fan, and
Mhm.
he has to understand that a good chunk of the hardcore wrestling fan is watching your programming on an illegal stream,
Yeah.
because obviously if you can get it for free, why would you pay for it? Out of the goodness of your heart, not everybody operates like that. Let's be real.
Yeah, no.
Um,
No, they don't.
yeah, and
He's just
so it's just
stubborn.
you're right. So it's just like, dude, I get the whole idea of let's cater to the hardcore wrestling fan and give them something where they feel like that is theirs and they can dictate how it goes.
Yeah,
But
but
you really are doing yourself a disservice by not trying to formulate your programming to reel in people that may have never seen it before.
yeah, exactly. It's like you kinda have to expand your audience a little bit. You kinda can't
Right, right.
because eventually what happens if you piss off your hardcore fans? You're done. You're
Yeah,
done.
like, eventually, they're gonna stop, like, eventually, the for lack of a better term, the dick writing ends,
Yes. Yes, eventually
it
no,
once
eventually they're not gonna be able to justify it anymore, so what's
right,
gonna
because
happen if you don't justify it?
once one side sees that they're once one person sees that they are not getting what they want, whether they should be getting it as a fan or whatever, they're gonna flip on you. Like,
Oh,
remember
yes.
when Daniel Bryan called everybody
Mm,
fickle?
fickle.
You know, there was some 100% truth to that. You
Yeah.
know, like,
Oh, yes,
you know,
especially nowadays.
yeah, like these people are fickle, man. So you gotta do what's best for your company to keep your company operating in the green, making the most money as you possibly can, Tony Khan.
So, moral of the story, stop being so fucking stubborn about
Yeah, just
everything.
like it's okay to be wrong. I feel like it's like, or it's okay to admit, like, oh man, this was a misstep. Like,
Yeah.
we have to admit showing the CM Punk footage at All In
Mhm.
was a
So
stupid
dumb.
fucking thing idea. It
Yeah.
was a dumb idea, just like it was an ego thing for Tony Khan and it backfired because now the Bucks have lost all credibility. Like even for
Yeah.
me, I look at the Bucks and I'm like, I'm indifferent. Like,
Yeah, I don't care when they come out. Like,
yeah, I just don't. Like they're Dolph Ziggler post World Heavyweight Championship Money in the
oh,
Bank for me.
oh,
Like it's just I don't care. I don't
yeah.
care.
No,
Like
I agree, like, the
like
music hits and you're like, "Eh."
it's just like, oh, like this is a clear-cut sign we are never going to get the 2014 2015 Young Bucks back and that's a shame because
Yeah,
god damn was that team good because they didn't give a shit who they pissed off. Like
yeah,
they were like actively going out and they're like, oh, all the old timers hate that we all do high spots. We're just gonna do a match that's just completely full of high spots. Oh, they think we overdo it with the super kicks. We're gonna add a super kick timer
yeah, yeah,
and kick Steve Carino and Kevin Kelly on commentary for the hell of it.
yeah,
Like it was genius stuff, and like then this happened.
yeah, and now we have today.
Yeah,
And they're supposed to be the big saviors of AEW when they come back, like, please.
nobody's gonna care.
No, not at all. You mean to tell me that the executive EVPs that think they're higher than everybody else is gonna, like, actually give a shit about saving the company? Like, they
That
ran.
should have that should have been Kenny Omega. Everybody cares about Kenny Omega, but
He could, maybe.
no, they
It's too late
fumbled it.
now.
It's too late. They aired a vignette for his return.
Yeah.
His return, instead of using his return, you could have American badass Undertaker this. Like this could
Yeah.
have been an epic return.
They
Like
pulled the old WWE where it's like instead of like letting it surprise you that someone's back, oh, we're just gonna
right.
telegraph that they're coming back, and it's just like you could have saved this for like a big moment, but no,
The biggest gripe that I have is that they are not using their full creative potential.
no, not even close.
Imagine what you could have done. You have the fucking Death Riders
Yeah,
going crazy, mutilating
kidnapping
every
people.
kidnapping, murdering, executing people on your television program. And granted, they could easily go, well, Kenny Omega is the savior. He's going to help us against the Death Riders. Okay, but you already gave it away that he's coming back.
Yeah, it's like it's not. I mean, it's gonna be great, but it's like it would have been nicer if it
Yeah.
was a surprise.
Imagine imagine if imagine if the Death Riders are going crazy You know, like, okay, who's like Kenny Omega's all right, imagine if the Death Riders were going crazy on Hangman Page, and
Yeah,
they're about to take out Hangman Page, and his old fucking nemesis slash tag team partner,
funny.
frenemy, basically, perfect, comes back, and his music hits, and he's rushing to the stage, and he just starts V-triggering everybody's face off, and he
Yeah.
fucking Moxley ducks, and he accidentally V-triggers Marina Shafir, like,
Oops. Yeah, well,
exactly, like, come, this is creative juice, like, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
You give him the check, guys. Like, come on. Like,
you
Eric's
know,
got it.
I'm just saying,
Let
like,
him cook.
this is just like, you're not using your full creative potential because
No.
you're so focused on how do we get Meltzer to say that this match
Uh,
was the greatest match he's ever seen on television. That's where your focus is. But
yeah.
Meltzer's not giving you any money. Like, you
No.
know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, brother. Oh,
Yeah.
what
It's frustrating. It's
I was
frustrating.
I was I because you know, this day and age, bitching about spoilers is stupid because if you want to avoid spoilers, just don't go on the internet. But you know how hard it is not to go on the internet? Like, you
Yeah.
know,
It's
but
impossible.
like, right. So like I tell you, ready, go. I'm scrolling through and I see a tweet from AEW with the vignette of Kenny Omega returning, and I'm like, why would you
Why?
why 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 would you say, like, okay, we're gonna okay, honestly, it just dawned on me, maybe this is why they're saying he's gonna come back. I can't remember if they gave us a specific date of his return in the
Mhm.
vignette.
Yeah.
However, they're saying he's gonna come back. All right, I'm looking, well, no, this is just a repost of the vignette. um I'm guessing maybe they want to pop a rating, you
Don't
know.
they always? That's always their plan.
That's always their plan, and what do we always say every time this
It
happens? It
never
happens when they
sustains.
exactly. It happened with the CM Punk All In footage, and I said, "Oh yeah, they'll pop a rating, a big one. You
For
know,
1 week.
they'll get their rating, and then it's just gonna go back to where it usually is. You
Yeah,
know,
eh, it's just the
and
obvious eludes them sometimes. All the
right.
time.
It's just, and again, I don't know anything about ratings, but I do know this. I do know this. 1.3 million people watching Saturday night's main event, and then you know, including an extra 700K from Peacock alone when they could have watched it on cable, is insane
Yeah.
for a 2024 wrestling program.
Yeah.
And it's because they gave you the great matches that you want to see on paper, but
Yep.
with those great matches, all individually had great stories to go with.
Exactly. It didn't feel like, well, I mean, granted, it wasn't a PLE. It was just like a
It was
extra
like a it
special,
was like
but
yeah, it was like exactly, it was a special.
and they made it that every match was purposeful. There wasn't like a, oh, you could have just put this on Raw. You could just put this on
And it
whatever. It's
was
like it worked. All of it
and
worked.
it was the perfect amount of nostalgia, the
Oh
set,
yes.
the red, white, and blue ring ropes, Jesse Ventura during commentary at the end was fantastic because he
Yeah.
was on it. He was in his element, heel commentator, old school, and it was just like, this is fantastic. The winged eagle, like
Yeah. The belt.
that thing looked beautiful.
That was nice.
Like,
It was
the
very nice.
whole thing, it's just like Triple H gets it. You
Yeah,
know,
he does.
he get like, we have to stop fighting it and fighting this prideful thing where we can't give people flowers because it goes against being a contrarian on the internet.
Yeah.
If you're a wrestling fan, again, AEW has its strong suits and so does WWE. It just feels like one's cooking over the other.
Yeah, one's like I don't know, one's like boiling and the other is cooking. That's
One
yeah.
is sauteing right now.
Yeah, one's sauteing, the other is like deep frying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. See, maybe we okay, now I'm getting hungry, so let's just move on. All right, Mom's last question was what was our favorite match of 2024?
Favorite match of 2024? That's easy. Um
We'll see if we're the
Brian
same.
Dan Yeah, Brian Danielson, Swerve Strickland. uh,
Okay, never mind. Just kidding.
AEW World Champ. Again, to me, I mean, it just made me want to go back and watch it all over again. To
Yeah,
me, it was just the greatest wrestling match I've ever seen. Like, it was fantastic. The action was fantastic, but it made you feel something.
yeah,
That's why when we do these flame ratings, like, I will only give 5 if it made me feel something. Not just that I enjoyed it, but did it
yeah.
make me feel something? And when the moment comes where Swerve is hitting Danielson with those round kicks,
Mhm.
and Danielson is standing up on his own, and he's looking directly at his very young children and his wife, and as Swerve is hitting him harder and harder with these kicks, he's screaming "I love you" to his children. How the fuck do you
Ugh.
not get emotional about that?
Yeah, it's giving me chills all over again.
Like,
Like, ugh.
that was the most insane visual to me of wrestling in 2024. A grown man getting this shit kicked out of him, and he's screaming at his very, very, very young children
Yeah.
how much he loves them. It's
Ugh.
out of a movie. It's a movie.
Yeah, it's cinema. It's
Yeah,
we always say it, it's absolute cinema, but it is.
it's absolute cinema.
Yeah, that was a good one. We weren't on the same wavelength though. I have to say Cody and Roman at WrestleMania
Oh,
40
I mean,
because come on, like just I think it's also biased because when you're there, it kind of you get all swept up in it, but it was just like
right.
I just remember just the energy throughout that city for the whole like weekend we were there where it's like is this finally it? Is it gonna? It's
Yeah,
gotta be. It's gotta be. He's gotta win it. He's gotta do this. But then it's just like, but what if they like don't do it? And what if they keep it on Roman? It was just that like anticipation building through that whole weekend up until that match and throughout that match and that match itself. We joked that it was going to be like the Avengers all over again,
right.
and it was, and it
And
was.
it literally, that stage setup was that portal,
Yeah,
the
literally.
on your left portal where everybody just came through and said, "We're tired of this tribal chief shit. We're
Yeah.
done." It's
And
like,
it's crazy because it wasn't, like, overdone, though, because we were worried about that happening. We were like, "Are they
right.
gonna completely just make a mess out of this just because it's WrestleMania?" But no, it worked. It really worked, and
Yeah.
it's just one of those where it's like, I'm sure it was great on TV, but just witnessing it in person is just something I don't think you can really compare it to if you weren't there. It's like you had to be there. It sounds
Yeah,
cliched, but it's like
no,
you had to be there for that. Like, it
yeah.
just I don't think anything ever is ever gonna replicate that.
Yeah, especially being in a wrestling city
Yeah.
like Philadelphia. We all know I don't vibe with
Ugh.
anything Philadelphia at
Me
all.
neither.
But I will say uh wrestling cities, New York, Chicago, Philly is up there in terms of being a wrestling city. So like you said, that whole vibe must have been crazy. I mean, for me, like, I get it. It is it's a necessary bias when you're there live,
Yeah,
because like I tell people all the time, the greatest match I've ever seen live, you know, Johnny Gargano Andrade,
yeah,
and NXT Takeover Philly,
yep.
greatest match I've ever seen live. That match, like, was an out. You want to talk about feeling something? I
Mhm.
literally felt my soul levitate
Yes. Yeah,
out of my body, sitting there with my friends and
yeah,
my brother, and we're just looking at each other going, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life."
yeah. I
You know,
get it, yeah,
so it's just like, yeah. So, and then honestly, to be there, WrestleMania, you
yeah.
know,
It's
to be there with your mom, like,
yeah,
and, like, I would kill to be able to go with my brother and my dad to a WrestleMania, like,
yeah,
because that's our connection, is through wrestling,
exactly.
so
She's the reason I got into wrestling. It had
exactly,
nothing
so,
to do
like,
with my dad, so it was just like
so,
it was
like,
great.
those it actually, it goes far beyond the actual wrestling.
Yeah,
It's perfect, to talk about this at the end of the year. We're almost done. This brings people together, just like Marvel movies, just
yeah,
like Comic Cons and all these things. Wrestling is something that brings generations together. I was introduced through my father. You were introduced through your mother, and through that we are able to create memories that we are never ever gonna forget.
Yeah.
Like, you know what it's like, like my dad, because I started doing this in 2013. And as soon as I started, my dad was always like, "Are you getting paid yet?" I'm like,
Literally, like, no.
I'm like, "What do you mean, bro? Like, what do you mean getting paid?" And then to finally, he's like, "Are you getting paid yet?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dad, I'm getting paid."
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, so Christmas is gonna be good. I said,
And you're
whoa,
like, "All right, back it
whoa.
up." Like, we're
Yeah,
not getting
but
paid that
again,
much.
yeah, exactly. I said, "Whoa, buddy, relax." But it was just like that, I know for him, he gave me the gift of wrestling, and for him to see me, you know, make do something with it, he's got to be proud. So again, to have that moment with your mom at WrestleMania of all places, and to like it was like
Yeah.
a generational thing too, because you figure you had The Rock in there, you
Yeah.
had The Undertaker in there, you had John Cena in there. These are all people that your mom introduced you to as you were growing up, and
Yeah.
you all got it in one shot. Must have been a crazy feeling.
It was like, again, that whole, like, you said when you were at a takeover, well, it would have been Philly, which I still hate for getting to see Alistair and Adam Cole. That's still one of my
That was
favorite
fun
matches.
too.
Still one of my favorite matches of all time, so I hate you for seeing that in person.
That was
Anyway,
fun.
no, it was literally that whole, like, last, like, what, 5, 10 minutes of that match. It was just like felt like my soul kept leaving my body because I'm like, are we really fucking doing this over and over and over and over again? And it was just like, it was insane. I feel like just I guess feelings wise, night two was like, you don't want to say it was better than night one, because night one for me, of course, it's like you're there. It's like we're in
Right.
fucking WrestleMania, like just sitting here. Like I never thought
I
we'd get here. Like
I feel like they did that on purpose.
they did. You know they did. Like
They
it.
did that on purpose. We're like, we'll give them an appetizer because it still had some good stuff,
Oh, you
you
got
know.
Rhea and Becky right off the bat, so I
Yeah,
was
and
like, it was great for me. Like
yeah, and you had the Rhea and Motionless and White, and then the
yeah,
man, like, so it's like we'll give them the mozzarella sticks,
yes, and I love mozzarella sticks. So
and then night two comes out, the steak and all that stuff and the sizzle.
yes, yes. And it was like, and it was so funny to me because my favorite part of that whole show wasn't even, and it's funny because that was like my favorite match of the year for like obvious and biased reasons, but I feel like the best like moment of that entire pay-per-view was when Damien cashed in, because I feel like it kind of like it flipped it a little bit where it's like I feel like mom's seen me react that way to like so many things and like wrestling or sports or whatever, and so to see
Right,
her have that same kind of like kid on Christmas morning kind of reaction to him like cashing in, because we kind of thought about it, but I don't think she really like thought it was going to actually happen, because it was
right,
just like, I mean, yeah, maybe he will, or knowing our luck it'll be the Raw after Mania or whatever. And so when the stuff started to happen and he started to go over towards Punk, we just kind of like looked at each other and we're like, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna really fucking happen? And then Punk started going after McIntyre, and I could just see I could see her like vibrating in her seat next to me, and then his music hit and she lost her fucking mind. And of course I did too, because it's just like, again, that would be like the equivalent of that happening to like Shayna or like Dakota if, God willing, she wins the IC title. It's just like it was cool to see her have that kind of like excitement that I have had with certain things before. So that was pretty cool. But
yeah. It's all about those moments, and those are moments that we'll never be able to replicate
no.
or get rid of. So I mean, it may sound corny to some people, but WWE, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you complete and then it's sad how it's like at SummerSlam it went the complete opposite way, but we're not
Yeah,
gonna talk about that
yeah,
pay-per-view.
we're
That's
not
a
gonna. We're trying to stay on your mom's
Ooh,
good side.
SummerSlam was cursed for both of us, unfortunately, but it's fine. That was still fun too, though, but that's a story for another time. But all right, so that was all of Mom's questions. So, Mom, thank you as always.
Thank you, mom.
All right, so our last questions are going to come from Mike. First question. So that weird symbol that showed up on Raw, who is that for? I feel
Oh,
like it's
that's
gonna be
easy.
Penta.
Penta, baby, he's
Gotta be
coming.
Penta. Like, come
He-
on. Like,
Carmen Pentel Ceramiero. Maybe if I don't know how they're gonna how they're
Yeah.
gonna work the name bit. The name
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, how are they gonna get around that? That's gonna
I,
be
I
tough.
don't I don't care. It's gonna be awesome. The only
Oh,
way
yeah.
it's not gonna be awesome is if they put him in the LWO.
Oh god, no, please. I love Selena and them, but no, let's not do that. Let's not do that,
Yeah,
please.
let's not do that. Coming from a Latino, let's not do that. We're good on that. Have him come in and like poison the LWO and like
Oh,
that'll
no,
that
leave Selena
yeah.
out of it. Stop.
Well, I mean, I
No.
mean, I mean,
No, no, stop it. Don't you put that evil into the universe.
I
Stop it.
mean, you know.
We're moving on. We're moving on. We're not letting it happen. No. Leave Zelina out of this. She's already had a rough enough
All
month as
right,
it is.
all right.
Get me started all over again with that shit. Um, anyway, but kind of going off of it a little bit, TNA had something similar of a vignette, but it was the number 23. Who do we
Oh,
think that's for?
I don't know. I
I have no
unfortunately,
idea.
yeah, I have no access to TNA programming, so I'm not able to keep up with TNA. The best I can do is like see what's happening on like Twitter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um I don't know because like I don't know who any of like a free agent that's not a big deal for WWE or AEW is. Like I don't know who that would be. And then like anytime I see like a mysterious number thing flash up and it involves TNA, I instantly get PTSD flashbacks to when Tito Ortiz
Oh
debuted,
God.
and they made a whole big thing with like August 1st. And I'm a
Yeah.
sucker for like a mystery opponents, mystery reveals in wrestling. That's an instant hook for me. I'm locked in. So like this is when I could watch TNA. So I'm like, they're like, a mystery guy's gonna show up. So I'm thinking, oh, they got Kurt Angle one time, they got
Yeah.
Christian Cage, they got Jeff Hardy. Maybe it's gonna be a big deal. So I was locked in for weeks. I
Yeah.
was locked in for weeks, waiting to see who this August 1st person was. August 1st comes around. I'm watching TNA. It's fucking Tito Ortiz.
Yeah. His PTSD is kicking
it's
in.
it's Tito Ortiz. And I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, literally.
like and there's a funny bit if you watch. They had the camera on Ken Anderson, the former Ken Kennedy.
Yeah, oh god,
And
yes.
he must have been so over it because he was giving the most generic NPC reactions, just like, oh
Yeah.
wow,
Mm.
oh no, is this really happening? Why is he here? And the
Mhm.
whole time I'm at home going,
He
it's
doesn't
Tito for God, like what are we doing, Dixie Carter? Your
oh,
days are
your
numbered.
days are numbered.
So it was just like
Oh,
anytime
no.
anytime there's a mystery deal and numbers with TNA, I start getting the shivers.
You're
uh,
you're literally
I don't
you're
want
like,
it.
"Not again, not again.
Get it get it away from me,
Get it off my
Mhm.
TV."
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god, alright, so Raw's Netflix launch is stacked, to say to say the least. Uh, what match are you most looking forward to?
God
Um
damn, that's tough.
Rhea and Liv, so Rhea can finally take the goddamn belt off of her and end this shit already. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. I want Rhea with that title again. I'm over it. I'm over it. My friend and I were fighting about it earlier. I love her to death. Belair, like, she doesn't listen, but still, I'll give her shit anyway. So she loves Liv. I love Rhea, obviously, and so we go
Oh
back and forth all the
no.
time. And we were kind of like we were good for a little bit because of the War Games team because she loves like Jade, Bianca, and Naomi. So I'm like, are we cool now? Because Rhea and them were on the same team. She's like, oh yeah, we're fine. And then this got announced. I'm like, nope, we're fighting again. That's it. That's it. We're done. We're fighting again. I'm over this. Rhea needs to just beat her, end this shit, and just give them something else to do. We've been, I can't even say more because it's like we've yelled about this for how long. It's like the title needs something fresh, it needs something new. They just need to get this over with, end it. That's it. But I want Rhea to
Yeah.
be champion again, but that's more or less why I'm excited for it. But it's just like, if she loses, dude, what, they can't do this up until the WrestleMania. They can't.
They
They should.
can't keep getting away with this. Like,
Just have her kick Liv's ass, get it over with, call it a day, and that's it.
yeah.
And that's
Oh,
it.
could you imagine if it goes past the elimination chamber? I don't want to see it at
Oh,
WrestleMania. I think
no, I don't even wanna
if
see it at the Rumble.
imagine if it goes, because the thing is, like, they can't both be in the Rumble either, man. Somebody
No.
new's got to win the Rumble. Somebody new's got to win the Rumble. It's
I've
got to be
heard people
somebody
I've
new.
heard people say EO, and I'm just like, "Ah,
No, I mean, I love Io. I
I
love
do
Io to
too," but she
death.
doesn't need it, like,
She doesn't. Like, I would give it to Kyrie over Io.
I'd give it to
I'd gi
Dakota,
I'd
but
give
she'd already have
Dakota. I'd
eh,
give it to Dakota.
she'll have the title
Um,
by then, it's fine, don't worry about it.
alright, but then
Zelina?
you Naomi. I put
Oh,
I
but
I
if she
put
did the thing, she
that's
might
the
have done the thing, let's be honest.
that's the crazy thing. She might have done the thing.
I think she did do the
She
thing. That's literally
she
Belair and I were talking about that too. I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna ask you a question. You're gonna get mad." I said, "Who do you think attacked Jade?" And she's like, "I hate to say it, but I think it was Naomi." I'm like, "I do too."
you know me. I from the get-go, I was like, Bianca's acting real shifty, you
Yeah,
know.
but Naomi's the
But
third wheel though. Like,
no, and that's the thing. Naomi's the third wheel, and now they're like, well, Naomi can sub in for Jade,
and
you know,
she's fighting for
and
Bailey hard too. So it's like, you're acting a little weird here, Naomi. Like, what are
I
we
feel like
doing?
I feel like this is like a episode of like Scooby Doo, and we're gonna like rip the
Yeah,
mask
literally,
off. Yeah, and we're gonna rip the mask off, and we're gonna be like, I bet you it was Bianca. We ripped the thing off, and it's
Naomi.
Naomi, and we're like, Gadzooks, like, you know,
Like,
like,
how did we not know? Like,
yeah,
I
Naomi. And the thing is, like,
ooh, if she
Naomi,
wins the
like,
Rumble, like,
I mean, if she wins the Rumble, it's great. I think, again, I'm all about giving it to somebody new. So I'm saying Naomi,
I'm
Michin,
somebody I
um,
think it's gonna be somebody on the or at least preferably, I would like it to be on the SmackDown side because if they're going for Rhea and Io at WrestleMania, which sign me the fuck up for that match. That's gonna
oh,
be a
I like
fantastic
that.
match.
I
But
like that.
I don't want it to be because Io won the Rumble. I just want it to be they just want to fight each other for the title because best versus the
Mm,
best, whatever.
right.
Which then leaves you're gonna have somebody on SmackDown because um it also depends on if Tiffany cashes in by then, which she could. I don't know if she will, but I still think you'd have to have somebody from SmackDown win that Rumble then because I just feel like oh, and I hate saying it this way because it sounds terrible, but it's the truth. It's like if Io wins the Rumble, that's a waste of a win for the Rumble, I think, because the point of the Rumble, and we talk about this all the fucking time, is you're supposed to elevate a newer star for the most part
Mhm.
with the Rumble. We don't really, I mean, for the most part, there's exceptions like last year and whatever, but it's just like Io doesn't need to win the Rumble. She doesn't need to win the Rumble. It's fine.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't. I think Liv doesn't need to win it. Rhea
no,
doesn't need to win it. Io doesn't need to win it.
no.
Bianca doesn't need to win it. Um,
Bailey doesn't need to win it.
Bailey doesn't need to win it. Like your top tier doesn't need to win it. We
No.
need like we need to elevate somebody
Give it to
else.
Shayna just because. No, I wish, but it
Of course,
it won't happen. But it's like in my dreams. But give it to
of course.
Selena. Give it to Michin. Like somebody.
Speaking of Shayna, I'm really enjoying her her stew content
Yeah.
on social
Yeah.
media. Every like,
Yeah. It's funny
she's
how she has a
consistent.
personality. Like
She's consistently disappointed by the catering, Stu. And then the
yeah.
bit where like Natty and Tiffany are begging her to take selfies for them because the lighting is bad.
Yeah. My personal favorite too are the ones where like she'll be nonchalantly talking to like Sonya or somebody and Zoe tries to like choke her out and she just like keeps talking like she's not even there and
Not
Zoe's
even-
like one of these days I'll choke Shane out and I'm like that's not gonna happen but good luck like
this
good
this
fucking luck
this
but
this Zoe bits are great too.
it's
The
like it's
Zoe
funny what happens when you give them personality they have
Yeah,
personality but
and then I got a kick out of the one where they gave Zoe a makeover. Uh
yes Yeah, that oh my god.
That was
That was
crazy because I looked at it, I was like, hey, oh, wait a minute.
you're like, "Hold on,"
And
like
then like the one before that is like Sonya and Shayna looking at Zoe because Zoe's kind of dressed like them, and they're like, "Are you sure?"
"Are you
Like,
sure about that?" Like,
yeah, like
give
she's like,
second
"What are you
thoughts,
talking?"
like
She's like, "What are you talking?" I was like, "I'm not making any more jokes because last time I did that, Shay almost gave me a heart attack."
it was not my
So,
fault, that was your fault, like,
so I'm leaving this one alone. But I was
that
like,
was
"Yo,
that
this
was
is
fully your fault, but whatever,
no,
like,
no, no, in
and
no
that was
way,
it,
shape, or form."
no, we're okay, we're fighting, show's over, we're done.
Yeah, listeners of the show, let me just tell you, Shay has this thing where she likes to give me heart attacks and
Like,
making me think I'd done something wrong.
oh my god, like, it's just no one knows I have a sarcastic personality, clearly it doesn't
She
translate well through text sometimes.
she does it all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
To the point where like I have to go to her mother and be like, "Get your child."
And does
Because
it work? Clearly
no,
not.
no, because she laughs at me like I should be expecting this.
Well, and my
Like,
thing is like, where do you think I learned it from? I mean, my dad too. He's kind of sarcastic sometimes too, but like, my mom always says
Jesus.
like him and I are like the sneaky snipers, where it's like you don't see it coming, and then all of a sudden it's just like, where did the hell did that come from? It's like you pick her
Oh
spots. It's
man,
fine.
I tell you, but Shay, ugh, oh Shay.
I'll give you a break. I'll give you a 20-second break here so I can read this
All right,
next
thank you.
question.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
what are our thoughts on Camille's interview talking about not being able to show her personality yet? Do you think it's much ado about nothing or that she might be regretting signing an AEW? We already know how I feel about that. Like I don't want to unload the clip again, but well, if her showing her personality and that like when she quit with Mercedes was any indication, I think we're good.
Oh
I don't think we
wow.
need to see it. Like
Yeah.
let's be honest, that was like horrible acting. It was
Oh.
bad. It was just like, can you not make it any more obvious that you're trying to be emotional and it's just not it. It's just not working. I mean, I feel like she probably does regret signing in AEW. I mean, for God's sakes, how long did she sit there before they actually remembered she was employed? But again, we kind of been through this before. If you would have thought you weren't above working in the performance center, maybe we wouldn't be talking right now. But you fucked around and you found out. And you are
Yeah.
finding out right now, badly
And
finding out.
it's crazy, like, Brian Alvarez is like, "Yeah, we might not ever see Camille back in AEW," and I'm like, "God damn,
And
already?" Like,
and you know what everybody said? They're like, eh. They're like,
like,
okay.
maybe, like, they're like, "Eh," but it's just, like, another thing, like,
What was the
as
point?
no, like, as someone who's seen a lot of this wrestling stuff, you're like, you again, it's kinda like the Ethan Page situation.
Yeah.
You had something. You had something. Camille Brickhouse, like, she may not have the charisma or the person, but, like, she could definitely be like, we said it way before her debut, she was gonna be the heavy for Mercedes. It
Oh
just
yeah.
made perfect sense. You literally had, 1995 Shawn Michaels, Big Daddy Cool Diesel right
Mhm.
there,
And yeah,
right
fucked it up.
there. And it was like shit from a butt. It was just like
Literally, like
it was nothing.
it
It
was
was
just so
nothing.
weird. It was just
Like
so
they
weird.
didn't use it to their full potential. Like Camille should have not been getting her ass kicked at all. She should have never lost a stat. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Like you don't make the heavy lose. The heavy is the heavy for the reason that they're the heavy. They
And what
don't
happens? You get embarrassed by Stat.
so like
I mean,
and
let's
then
just say what it was. It was embarrassed by Stat. Like,
yeah, so then like if you take Camille, you put Camille in NXT, Camille's stupid because she would have went crazy.
yeah,
She would have went
literally.
crazy. Imagine Camille being in there with Stephanie, with Julia, with Zaria, with Sol Ruka, Jada Parker. Like she would have been eaten. So
Yeah.
like And this is why this idea about the performance center and NXT, let it go, people. It's
Yeah.
not developmental, it's a third brand. They're just using it and saying, hey, we think you're ready to be in front of cameras. Now show us that we're right. That's it. We want to know that we're right, that our theory about you being ready to be in front of people and
Yeah.
being ready to be on TV, we just need to know that we're right. We're not going to let you flop, especially these
Yes.
people that come in that don't have a wrestling background that say, hey, maybe this is for me. Maybe I could be the next Kurt Angle, something like that. And they end up shining. Jada Parker, no wrestling background before NXT.
Nope.
Sol Ruka, no wrestling background. Kalani Jordan, no
Mhm.
wrestling background. Now they're in there with people like Stephanie, wrestling background, Julia, wrestling background, Zaria, Jordan Grace, and they're killing it.
Yeah.
So the idea that the performance center is not not even the best, the greatest training facility that has ever been constructed for professional wrestling, the idea that it's not, that it's some rinky-dink gym with rusted, floors and
Yeah.
dirty
Yeah.
mats, like, no, buddy, come on, let's be real here.
Yeah, it's like, let's not act all
Yeah.
holier than thou here, like,
Yeah, yeah, like,
please.
come on now. Now you're just doing tricks on it.
Yeah, and then, like, again, fuck around and find out, and boy,
Yeah,
you're finding out, like,
now what? Is she really hurt? Is Kamille really hurt, or is that just like
let me
a
look.
character thing? Because
Let me take a
imagine
look.
that. Imagine that
Yeah,
they
conveniently.
imagine they don't debut you for months, right? You debut. It kind of is okay, then it flops, and now they're saying we may never see you again, and you're injured on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah, um
Like
Mm.
that's
The fact okay,
crazy.
the fact that you literally her one quote when they asked about, like, her personality, she said, "If someone says, 'Oh, she doesn't have personality,' to be honest, I'd agree with them up to this point because I haven't gotten the chance to show it, so I'm just really excited for everyone to see that I'm more than just standing there making faces." Well,
I mean, she's got a sick face card. Let's
yeah,
call
yeah.
it spade a spade. I mean, she's in the new. I don't know if you saw it. They just released the trailer for the biopic on Mildred Burke.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Mhm.
yeah, and in the trailer you see flashes of Camille, you see flashes of Tony Storm. Naomi's got a couple lines in the movie too.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna be like, this movie comes out in March. I'm gonna be seated with my movie snacks that cost me like $50. Like, cause this
Yes,
movie
yes.
it looks pretty damn good. It
Yeah.
looks pretty damn good. Like they're cooking with these wrestling movies. I mean, we had the Iron Claw,
I
a
still
year
need
and
to
a
see
half
that.
ago. You still haven't seen the Iron Claw?
No, not yet. We wanted to, and then, like, something happened that weekend, and we just never got around to it, so I'm gonna have to
What is
find it.
wrong with you?
We don't have that kind of time, but it's, I'll we don't have that. That's not the this is not the anyway, well, we're going to. I promise we will at some point.
Our last episode of 2024 is the craziest
It's
episode.
unhinged. Like, what else is new?
Oh man,
I feel
you
like,
still
ugh,
haven't seen the
I
Iron Claw.
I know, well, you can yell at mom too. She hasn't seen it either. Don't throw me under
Yeah,
the bus just yet. Like,
L's
damn.
in chat. Jesus.
Okay. All right. Just hold this L real quick.
Yeah, really.
Whatever. Anyway, so we're gonna God, I don't even want to talk about this question too long. Do we see Vince's entertainment group that he's rumored to be starting be another wrestling promotion? I sure fucking hope
Fuck
not.
it. Hell no.
No, I don't
That
know what it's
man's
gonna
not.
be.
Listen, that man may be a dirty, degenerate, perv freak, disgusting demon, but
Yep.
he ain't stupid.
No.
He not
No.
stupid. Who's gonna go wrestle? I mean, I'm be real with you. If Vince McMahon was to put out a wrestling program, I'm watching the first episode. I'm watching it because I want to see. I
Train
want
wreck.
to see. I want to see who's got the most lack of
Yeah.
brain cells that they would want to put their career on the line to
Yes.
work
Yeah.
for Vince McMahon in
We
a
can think of a
wrestling
couple off the
capacity.
bat.
I mean, no, there'll be a bunch of them. There'll be a
Yeah.
bunch of them, but it'll literally be like, okay, I get to laugh at this person.
Yeah.
I get to call this person a fucking idiot. I
Mhm.
get to call this person a moron. This is fun. All right, we
Yeah.
might be on to something. Like, no, but Vince, he may be all the worst things a human being could be, but he ain't stupid. Uh,
Yeah.
the the man the man never, he always had, like, if you called him a wrestling promoter, he would like skeeve out.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want to be a wrestling promoter. It just happened to be that his father was a wrestling promoter. He saw it as a business opportunity and he became a really, really good wrestling promoter. Maybe not even maybe. He's the greatest wrestling promoter that has ever lived.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. All
Yeah.
right. Let's not be stupid. All
Yeah.
right. But again, to be a billionaire, you can't be like, it's not like, I'm going to make another $1 billion by taking this thing that I created and basically recreating it again. Here's the thing. If I recreate it, it's not going to be as good as my first creation. And my first creation that's being controlled by somebody else is doing it way better than I've ever done it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you know.
Literally though.
So like, if I'm doing wrestling thing, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
He's always wanted to do the TV. He's always wanted to do the movies. That's why we had WWE Studios, which flopped. That's why we had. That's why we had. He wrote the script and did all the things for No Holds Barred in the 80s, and that movie was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But so it's just like the man, like, he's such an egomaniac, and he caught lightning in a bottle so many times, more than a person should be able to catch lightning in a bottle. Vince McMahon has caught it 5 6 times over, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, how old is he now? Like 80, 81, bro. Like,
Yeah. Old enough.
let it go. Just let it go. Just live the rest of your years and hope that you don't end up in prison. You know,
Yeah.
because it's not looking good for you. So, buddy, maybe not. Let's not worry about creating another company at 81 and just enjoying the rest of our horrible demonic life.
Yeah. Literally, it's like
Yeah,
let's
like,
just not. Let's just
yeah,
not and say we did. How about that?
yeah, yeah.
Um. So now to a more fun question. Um. So obviously we all know that Rhea called Dominic a chicken tender slut,
Hey,
which
yo, why would you say something like that?
because why not, I guess. So what food could some call us a slut for? For Mike, he's a brisket slut all day every day. I mean, I agree
Oh.
with him. I fucking love brisket, but there's too many foods that you could say, like tacos,
Mm.
boneless wings. That's a big one for
Boneless
me.
wing. Oh, you're boneless wing.
Yes.
Brave of you to admit that, by
I
the
will
way.
admit it. I don't care. Fight me. I don't care at all.
Brave of you to admit that you go
I
boneless.
do. I do every time, and yeah, that's it.
Seems like a guilty pleasure.
No, not really. I will
Not for you,
openly.
not for you.
No, not for me. Steak. Love a good
Oh
steak.
yeah, I love a good steak. Well, how do you like your steak?
Medium. It's usually my
Medium.
go-to.
Hey, see, I
Yeah.
mean, we're so sympathetic. I mean, you must be
See,
the
like,
you must be the woman version of me. I
what
don't
would you
know.
say if I would have been like rare, like blue?
No, blue. I would have thought you were crazy.
No, like I
Blue,
can't.
I would have been like, man, what are you, some sort of cannibal? Like, like,
I
um,
used to do medium. I used to do medium rare, but then I feel like with, let's be honest, as inconsistently as people in restaurants cook steak, I always
yeah,
say medium because if you undercook it, it's still medium well, which I'm still good with, and then if you undercook it, it's medium rare. So I'm like, it's
it's
still
all right.
good
Yeah,
either
yeah,
way, but
right.
a solid pink is like
Yeah, yeah.
fine.
I'm a
Um,
full on medium guy for the
yeah,
steak.
yeah.
Um,
Chicken. I like pretty much anything chicken. So there's a lot of foods that I could be a slut for, unfortunately. But I do
ah,
have to agree with Mike though. Brisket is that's probably my favorite barbecue. Like
yeah.
meat is brisket for sure. But
Wow,
We
what
need to stop
a
talking about this. It's 10 o'clock and I'm getting hungry. Like, I have to go to bed in an hour and a half. Like, I can't
I
eat anything.
am you know I've been pushing for a sponsorship
Is it the home
for
wrecker?
I'm a home wrecker whore. All
That's
right.
the name.
You know, give me a Moe's home wrecker with everything on it but the olives. I hate olives.
You
Olives
don't
are
like
disgusting.
olives?
Olives are disgust. Olives are the
Okay.
devil. All
Okay, well,
right.
I mean, I don't love them, but I also don't hate them. Like,
I
damn.
hate them. They're disgusting. They're evil. But give
Oh,
me everything on the home wrecker. Some creamy chipotle sauce on it. Oh my god. I'm telling you, I tell people because these things are massive. Okay. These
mhm.
things are I even posted it in the Discord. These things are they're the size of a small infant, and I'm not even exaggerating.
Yeah.
They're the size of a small infant, and it's only for 13 and change. If you want steak, like it's more to get the steak, but you're only paying 13 and change for a burrito in 2024. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And I tell people this all the time. If I was on death row, my last meal would be two of these
Okay.
because
All right. Damn. Hey, why
one,
not?
one
Go out
yeah,
hot.
yeah, because if I'm gonna make my stomach explode the day I'm gonna, I might as well enjoy it with a Moe's home wrecker burrito. So Moe's Southwest Grill, if you somehow come across this episode of the Ringside Rundown, I will gladly take like a monthly stipend of homewrecker burritos as form of currency for a sponsorship, and I will gladly tell people that this podcast is sponsored by Moe's for a monthly stipend of a homewrecker burrito.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
that,
I'm being
yeah.
fair by saying monthly.
Yeah. I'd say that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'd say that's pretty fair.
Yeah, I am a full on homewrecker whore.
Or there's that's the new. We can't even make that the title of the episode because that would be flagged for sure. But
We're killing it on YouTube. We're trying to keep it that way.
yeah, let's not get demonetized immediately. But
Yeah.
it's fine. So that actually was Mike's last question, but he did want to say for his last comment that since he believed this was our last episode of the year, which he was correct, a sincere thank you for all the content you've provided to us this year. I look forward to these episodes every time they're released. I always love what's going on the Twitch and the Discord. Wishing both of us and our families a great Christmas season and an even better 2025. Mike,
Oh,
we
thank you.
appreciate you because Mike's been here since the beginning. Like
Yeah,
he's one
yeah,
of the OGs, and
yeah. Mike is definitely an OG for sure.
yeah,
Um, Yeah, Mike is like I said earlier, I started in 2013 and Mike was one of the first people to be like full on supportive of what I do from the get-go. Mike his company goes far beyond a supporter to me. He's
yeah,
not even a close friend. He's like a best friend to me.
yeah.
You know, like and it's crazy because me and Mike and I and Mike and us and you and I and all of us have never been in the
Everybody,
same room. Yeah,
no,
like this whole we have our own little conglomeration
we
of
really
like
do though. Like we
it's
do.
crazy. It's crazy how like it went from you and I doing this thing, you know, handling everything to now like I have to have moderators and like
Yeah,
I have to have people in place to do uh things for me when I can't. Like I literally have one person, Bella, who's gonna
mhm.
listen to this, and she jumps between the Twitch streams and the YouTube streams because I do the multi-streaming now. So
Oh
she's
god.
jumping back and
Well,
forth.
poor pal doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, she is jumping back and forth, um, keeping everything hype. It's just so crazy how the ringside rundown went from like you and I doing this thing, and then like having questions from your mom, and then like the questions and your mom and Mike and everybody else being such an integral part of what we do here. It's just really cool to see, and I really can't thank anybody. Like I can't say thank you enough. It's just so
Yeah.
crazy, you know, because I never thought like you know, you'd be like, well, you should be putting reactions up on TikTok, and I'd be like, TikTok, God,
Ah,
you know,
TikTok.
like yeah, and now it's like I have a TikTok account that has over 1,000 followers, and as soon as I get 1,000 followers, the government is gonna nuke my shit.
Take you the fuck out.
Yeah. So like, I love that, and like, I was always petrified of like making YouTube content because I was like, nobody's gonna give a shit. Like nobody's gonna care. And to be like, oh, now we can push towards the end of the year. Maybe we'll make 1,000 subs to like one day. I woke up the other day and the YouTube has just gone crazy. I
Yeah,
don't know what
popping
the
off.
hell. Yeah, it's just so like all of this is still so brand new, and it's just like
It's crazy.
it, it's crazy. Like, and I'm just so excited to see what we're gonna do in 2025. You might. I'm like I'm gunning for things where like Shay's gonna have to request some time off. From
I
her
wish.
from her
Ugh.
real job, and when they're gonna be like, well, why do you need this much time? I got this wrestling stuff going on, so like
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So like
yeah.
I'm gunning to do more content to get the ringside rundown out there. Just gonna keep trying to do more stuff and providing fun for you guys because they love scaring the shit out of me with that damn air horn.
That video
Like
with Mike, that thing you had on Facebook with Mike, I laughed at it for a solid 10 minutes straight. It was just,
like
it was great.
it's just like
You didn't have
and
fun, but we did.
no, the only fun part about it is like you have to pay to do that to me.
Yeah.
And like they consistently waste their money to scare the shit out of
Well,
me.
money
And
well
it's like
spent, obviously.
and I'm so sensitive to sound,
Mm.
which is funny coming from a guy that listens to loud, angry music like they're trying to summon a demon. So
Dude,
like
I can't say much. I do the same.
yeah, so it's like for a person that is sensitive to sound, but like loud air horn noises, and I was like,
Mhm.
this is a bad idea.
Terrible. Like,
But the people want this. So do I
mm,
sacrifice my
give people what
sanity?
they want.
Yeah, and I did. And it's proven to be fruitful. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I thank you guys for all your support. But my sanity, like I am so like I'm on edge now. Like, oh my god, is
You're
my
just waiting for that
headphones
at
right?
all times.
Yeah, I'm like on guard and they get me. If
Yeah.
it's not that, Bella likes to do the thing where I have a command for my dog Leroy that
Yeah.
when you hit a certain command in the chat in twitch.com/ringside rundown, if you hit that command, it does the Leroy Jenkins meme.
Of course.
But it's so loud and I forget that it's so loud, and Bella does it every single time she shows up to the stream, and it's just like, oh, what the hell just happened? Oh, it's just Bella.
You're like, oh, thank God. Okay, oh, thank
Yeah,
God.
it's just Bella. I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, thank you guys for making 2024 was an insane year. It was
Yeah.
an insane year where it was just like I woke up one day and I was just like, I'm tired of saying I want to do all these things and I don't do them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, F it. I'm gonna do it. It was one of those things where you have a life moment like my mom uh had just came out of the hospital, had a rehab for dealing with the stroke and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you're like, damn, I wish I could have done more to be a better son, because we all want to be that child that like is able to take care of our parents as they get older,
Yeah.
maybe buy them a house or at least just make sure that they're safe and taken care of. And I always felt like I didn't do enough, so I was just like, fuck it. If this wrestling thing is the only thing that I'm good at, I'm gonna ride it till the wheels fall off. And I'm so happy that I have you as a partner where we're on the same wavelength. We have fun with this. This is episode 139. Like I said, we've been doing this since 2021, and it doesn't seem like a chore. It just seems like
No.
two buddies just hanging out talking wrestling.
Just yelling to the void. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
literally could not have had a better partner when it comes to this because you always say I'm like the quarterback of the podcast because it's just like I do what I can because when you work in corporate America, it kind of takes a lot of your time and shit away and having a life and whatever. So I'm glad that I have someone who's as hard working as you that like does the Twitch streams and does the YouTube stuff and all the other like things that I can't get to do because I have like my schedule never ends it seems like and it clicks. It's just we just work and yeah, like I said, I literally could not have had a better partner, and I am like dude, super proud of all the stuff you've been doing and getting
Thank
it
you.
to where it is. Like that is 100% you. I'm on the sidecar. You're driving the bike. You're driving the bike. Like I'm just helping as best I can, but you're the one definitely putting in all the work.
I'm just, like I said, it's just this is all I know. It sounds crazy, but this is all I'm good at.
Well,
So
you are good at it.
I am good at it, so like and I have fun with this. So like just trying to see where I can go. Like I always tell people like this to me isn't a competition because there are so many great wrestling content creators out there and podcasts and they're all wonderful. To me it's like I don't want us to be at the head of the table. I don't want us to create our own table. I just want us to have a seat at the table. And
Yeah.
I want all of us to be friends.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of, you know, making my way downtown. Not really walking fast, but
Yeah.
but
Still doing it. Still doing the thing.
I'm still doing the thing, and I couldn't thank you guys enough. You guys have made this an incredible ride, and just thank you,
Yeah. We couldn't have done it without you guys.
thank you. So yeah, I guess we are finito on the questions then.
Yes, we are all done.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you guys once again for a fantastic episode, allowing us to talk wrestling and get our wrestling jargon out there. It really means a lot to us. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, thank you. And also let us know what platform you're using. If you're just so happen to come across this and you want to know where you can listen to more episodes, this podcast is available all across the board on whatever platform you can find podcasts on. It's on Spotify, Apple, Audible, Amazon Music, basically wherever you listen to podcasts, it's there. If it just so happens to be not on the platform that you use, hit us up on social media. We're available on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at Ringside Rundown. Hit us up, shoot us a DM, let us know what platform you use. I will get back to you with a link on that platform on a silver platter, but the caveat is you have to give us back the silver platter because we only have one and it's very expensive.
One of one. One
One
of
of one.
one.
And it was given to us by Shay's mom, and she don't play that shit.
I'm
So
not getting in the middle of that. No, thank you.
yeah. So make sure you give it to us back. And if it's just not there for you on that platform, don't fret. The podcast is available full episodes on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/at ringside run pod. That is the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for getting the YouTube channel over 1,000 subscribers. That is insane. The
It's
Ringside Rundown
crazy.
has a YouTube channel with over 1,000
It's
subscribers.
insane. Fucking insane.
Insane. That is nuts. But like I said, we're available there. We're also available on TikTok at ringside_rundown if you want highlights of the stream. Those same highlights available on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. So check it out. If you want to talk wrestling with me individually, you can reach me. I'm streaming for every WWE and AEW TV program that happens. So I'm on stream, whether it be on Twitch or YouTube, twitch.tv/ringside rundown. But if you don't have a Twitch account, you can always hop on YouTube because we do multi-streaming on YouTube and it's a lot of fun. We figured out a way to gamble channel points. So now people like Mike have turned into degenerate gamblers in the chat.
Well,
Because we
yeah.
do like match predictions every match that happens. It's like, all right, say who you're gonna win and put up your channel points. And now Mike is just throwing out 1,000 channel points. It's crazy. It's
We have a
insane.
gambling
So
ring now. It's no big
yeah,
deal.
yeah, like we saw it.
It really is the
Oh.
Sopranos. Like, look what you're doing.
Oh no. Oh no.
See what you did. Look what you did.
Oh no. Why'd you put it that way?
Well, because I mean,
I didn't even
it's true.
realize I didn't even realize that. But yeah, it's a ton of
Uh-huh.
fun. Watch the streams on YouTube, twitch.tv/ringside rundown. If you want to talk to me individually about wrestling, you can reach me on Twitter at Erik, ERIK, ringside_. Shay, where can they get in touch with you and check out what you're into?
You can find me on Twitter at Shailene Hickson 21. Talking all the things. I mean, I'd love to list them all, but we don't have that kind of time. It's just if you like something, there's a good chance I may like it, unless it's Philly sports. Then that's an
Yeah,
absolute no.
yeah. If
But
you like
we don't know. We don't like
Pittsburgh sports,
that. Yeah,
Halsey, music in general,
drag.
Star Wars,
Star Wars, yeah, that's a big
all
one.
the niche,
The nerd stuff.
yeah,
Just say
niche
it, just the nerd stuff.
nerd geek stuff. Shay's on it, and she's a great follow. So definitely go check her out for sure.
Thank you, thank you.
No problem. Well, thank you guys for another excellent episode. We will be back on January 7th. Should we tell them what we're doing for January 7th?
Yeah, why not? Let's
All
let
right,
'em give 'em a
January
preview.
7th, we will be back to start off the new year with well, it's going to be 2025, but we're celebrating 2024 with the Ringside Rundown end of the year awards. We'll be giving out Ringside Rundown awards for AEW and WWE Superstar of the Year, Female Superstar of the Year, Match of the Year, all that stuff that you see on the normal award shows. We're gonna be doing that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to dive into it. I'm really gonna make this a thing. I'm
We're
excited.
gonna get suits and everything, like,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
got
yeah.
everything.
Yeah. I'm gonna get one of those Kevin Owens deals where it's like
The shirt.
the t-shirt with the
Yeah.
bow tie. I'm gonna do that whole deal. You know,
I'll put my actual suit on.
yeah. I might even throw on my like pajama, bottoms just to
Yeah,
make it
right.
official.
I'll I'll put my aviators on just to look extra
Let's
cool,
go.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's go. Oh, I love it. We'll have a red carpet pre-show and
Yeah,
everything.
literally, why not, right? Go all out.
Yeah. It's going to be a good time. So yes, January 7th will be our next episode. It'll be the end of the year awards, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to get into that, but that's happening January 7th. Until then, guys, have a happy holiday season.
Yes.
Spend it with your friends, your family, your loved ones. Spend it doing something positive, something that you love. Take care of each other, but also take care of yourself. For Shay
Yes.
Hickson, my name is Erik Vasquez, and we are out of here. See you in the future.
See you later, guys.